I didn't know if I wanted to spend all of my youth or my time into one office and going.
You don't have to worry about not finding that one particular thing that
Yeah.
drives you. Like Richa said, it can be a feeling, it can be like you wanting to learn more, it can be about your curiosity.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Hi.
to another episode of Casual Kura. My name is Richa.
And I'm Vishali.
And Casual Kura is a podcast where we casually talk about our life experiences as Nepali American women. Today's episode, we are going to talk about another big P word.
Another baby. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Passion. Um, yeah, so we are going to dive deep into passion, what is passion and how we feel about passion.
Mhm.
Have we discovered our passion and how to discover? Yeah, so
Yeah.
all of that we'll get into. So where do we even start? Like we.
I know. I feel like passion is such a big
Mhm.
buzzword, and I I feel like, at least for me, passion carries so much pressure, another P word. And I think a lot of times when people think about passion, they become overwhelmed and think that it's like, this is one big thing that you have to focus all your
Mhm.
energy and your entire life around. So
Yeah.
I guess for me, when it comes to defining passion, at least, it's something that you're definitely interested in and that motivates you. But most importantly, I think it's something that's truly inspiring. And I think inspiring for me is a word that has come up a lot recently because I'm in my early 20s.
20s,
So
yeah.
I feel like I'm still in that stage where I'm discovering what my passion is and
Uh-huh.
what passion means to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, if I were to define it, I'd say it's something that's really inspiring and inspires you to move
Inspiring.
forward and live your life.
Mhm.
How about you?
Um, like I feel like I have been chasing passion all my life, but I think until this, like you mentioned the podcast topic of passion, and really like thinking deep into this word, um, I end up like I was journaling about it, and then I end up it's more than anything. I feel like it's a feeling that you
Mhm.
feel um, most energized.
Mhm.
And all the activities you do that you feel most energized could is a passion, and it's part
Yeah.
of the passion. And often, as you say, we do correlate passion with job or
Mhm.
career, and we, I think, very like give like so much pressure into like finding a perfect job that fulfills you in every way it can. And I feel like it's being very unrealistic because I don't know, that's like kind of impossible,
Yeah.
and it's like a very, I don't know, daunting thing to even like go for. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think thinking in a way that what inspires you, what energizes you, what fuels you, have it be like, small activities that we do every day, like reading a
Yeah.
book or like going for a walk, like
Mhm.
those all like tiny things like add up to passion,
Yeah,
I feel like.
I completely agree, actually, and I think I wanted to bring this up when we brought up this idea of talking about passion in our podcast, because I feel like, yes, like a lot of times people do hone in on one singular thing, one
Hmm.
singular activity, but you're right. I think there are many things that you can be passionate about, and I think
Uh-huh.
that if you are someone who steps into your career and you're the first job that you take, you're like, wait a minute, I love this. You're incredibly lucky, because that does not
Happen
happen
for everybody.
to everybody. And
Hmm.
honestly, I think it rarely happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, to me, in my head, it's like pocket passions. Like, you're
Yeah.
right. Like, for me, I'm very passionate about writing.
Hmm.
So I journal a lot. I write like little tiny memoirs about like moments in my life, and
Hmm.
I also really love literature. So I indulge in reading and
Hmm.
things like
Hmm.
that. And to me, those are my individual passions. My job doesn't necessarily correlate with all of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
in its
Yeah.
entirety, but
Hmm.
it's true. Like, I do think that you can be passionate about little things, your hobbies, for
Hmm.
example. Like, for example, what about you? What are some things in your day-to-day life that you're passionate about?
I feel like something current that I'm really doing is like the morning routine, adding this breathing
Hmm.
exercise to my routine,
Yeah.
like that really, like, and like like putting my phone in airplane mode, like first 1 hour and last 1 hour, and like really giving that time to myself
That's
rather
really
than
good.
like scrolling on the phone like that. Like really, I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, journaling and like those morning exercises, like 10 minutes of silence, just like spending my with myself,
Yeah.
like yeah, I feel like that currently is like what fuels me.
That's good.
Hmm.
And I feel like age as well has a lot to do with how we feel about passion.
Hmm.
And, I mentioned earlier, I'm in my early 20s, so I'm still in this phase of my life where I'm discovering a lot of things about myself and
Uh-huh.
trying to even navigate my career and like what is the difference between a job, what is the difference between a career, what do I want as a career, and all of
Uh-huh.
these very
Uh-huh.
important questions. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there that like if you don't know your passion, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel as though there's so much life for you to discover what your passion, and not even just your passion, but your passions,
Mhm.
plural,
Mhm. Mhm.
are.
Yeah.
And, I think as a young adult and someone who's on social media and like LinkedIn and stuff like that, you go online and you see a lot of young people discovering themselves and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting engaged in real and good work. And it's just a little bit overwhelming at times because, I'm over here and I'm just like, I don't even know what truly is my calling. Like, I'm not even sure what to do with my life.
Uh-huh.
And so, just like, it's okay.
It's
I'm
okay.
putting that
Yeah.
space out there. It's okay. I think it's true. I think passion does have a lot of pressure attached to it, and just to understand and realize that every you can have passions in your everyday life, but like,
Mhm.
and really hone in on that.
Yeah. Focus on the tiny things, and I think, yeah, from passion, the big word passion, to having tiny little passions. I think
Mm,
that's like a big like mental
yeah,
change that we really have to do. Um
yeah. And I want to talk about passion in work in particular.
uh-huh.
And I think that when I was post grad and, in the job market looking for my first full time grown up adult job, I think that I put a lot of pressure again into finding something that was completely in alignment with what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So I majored in marketing, by the way,
Yeah.
and I love thinking creatively and creating stories for brands.
Mhm.
And I wanted a career, or I thought I wanted a career that sort of dived into that. And I think that like, and I was actually listening to a podcast today, and the speaker, it was a TED talk actually, and the speaker whose name I've forgotten, but I will link the podcast down below.
Okay.
She's an author, and she was talking about how she was 24, just like me,
Mhm.
and she wasn't sure what she wanted to do with her life, and she had a job that she wasn't very satisfied with, and she would dread it in the morning, but it was well paying. It like matched what she majored in college. Like she basically checked all the boxes for this job, but she wasn't happy in it.
Mhm.
And so she quit her job and she did what she called a radical sabbatical,
Wow.
where she spent a year traveling and trying different careers.
Uh-huh.
And she was talking about how she did everything from being like an alpaca farmer to being an archaeologist within this
Wow.
year. And she said something that really stuck to me, and I think it really resonates with this idea of passion. And she said that, oftentimes people, when they step into their career, they just stick with what they first initially begin as. And she
Mhm.
said that we should take our jobs and our career search like we take dating, like
Yeah.
we when we date, we like meet new people, we think about, okay, do I click with this person, do I not, and if you don't, you move on. And a lot of times when people enter the career field, they marry the
Mhm.
first job that they
Yeah.
have and they
Yeah.
just like dive into that. But she spoke about how important it is to try different things, and I think when we talk about passion, it blends together, like you, if you're not happy with where you are right now, think about maybe it's time to try
Try
something
something
new.
new.
And
Yeah.
obviously, I think that there are people who are more privileged and who have the capacity to explore.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think she has a very good point, and I think that we should really consider that when we think about passion and what it is to discover our passion.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it has been similar process for me. Yeah, I got my degree in architecture, and I interned at an architecture firm, and I like really like I think you really have to be conscious and ask yourself like how you're feeling in this job. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? And it didn't fulfill me. It didn't make me happy. Certain part like being very creative. I feel like when you're starting in architecture, it's really like you're like really working at a time like you're like basically correcting like other people's like somebody who's like at a higher up like of blueprint, like you're basically
Mhm.
correcting it and you're not like very actively creating yeah,
Mhm.
you're like not a part of creative process. I feel
Mhm.
like when you're like starting in a big architecture firm,
Mhm.
so like I like started trying different things. Like I like ventured into interior design. That's like a facet like with my study like I could go into, and that I really liked, and I
Mhm.
really clicked with me. I worked at a small firm and I got to experience in all parts of the creative process. So that was like that really clicked with me.
Mhm.
But also like the work environment, like
Mhm.
is it working for you, like
Mhm.
um I think like I really valued my time, and I didn't know if I wanted to spend all of my like youth or my time into one office and going.
Mhm.
So I really ventured into how can I be more free with my time,
Mhm.
and maybe I don't want to do a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of exploring. Like it doesn't allow me
Mhm.
to do all of those things. So I really looked into graphic design and like how like that could play into like me being a freelancer and like having a freedom of time
Mhm.
to really yeah, like invest my time into what I really wanted to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I feel like what is my passion? I really thought about this, and I feel like it's like constantly learning and growing, like that is my passion rather than like
Mhm.
I feel like people like what is your passion? Oh, like my passion is to be a baker, my passion is to
Mhm.
be a doctor, my passion. I feel like people usually relate it
There's like
with
a
like a
title.
yeah, like a profession. And I think in my life people could say, oh, your passion is to be a designer, but I feel like no, it's not. I feel like
Mhm.
um it's like learning and growing, gaining new perspective. I feel like that is my passion. And like being a designer fits right in because I feel like it's you're not like being a designer, like taking a project by project. I'm like looking into so many things, like okay, designing for Khaja house, I really had to look into the culture of Nepal, like what my childhood was
Mhm.
like. And have like now I'm like venturing to a new project, maybe that is like Italian fashion brand. Now I have to look
Mhm.
into the Italian culture and the fashion world, and I feel like each project I get to like venture into a different culture and different world that I like. And it's like constantly like it's very intriguing, and it fuels me, it energizes me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that has become
Yeah.
my passion.
No, that's beautiful, and I really like how you connect passion with not just a profession or not
Yeah.
just a title. It's
Mm-hmm.
more so about what you want in this life and
Mm-hmm.
what drives you forward. And
Yeah.
even just thinking about my own experience, I every internship that I have had in my life has been in business and finance.
Mm-hmm.
Like since high school, I had summer internships where I was interning at banks, I was interning at investment firms, and I was sitting there and I was just like, this is not inspiring to me. And then
Uh-huh.
when I went to college, I majored in biology freshman year, and I was like, no, I can't do this. Like I was
Yeah.
convinced I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
be like a research scientist, and it didn't work out. And then I switched my major into marketing, and that was when I was like, okay, this is I like this. I learned about social media marketing. I was learning about digital marketing. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, it was very interesting to me. And then even when I was in college and learning on an academic level, I was also part of the Center of Gender Equity, which really made a big impact in my life. And I think that's, once again, it's a pocket passion. It's one of the things that I'm
Mm-hmm.
very interested in, which is gender politics. And I remember during that time, we would sit with everyone else who was also part of the Center of Gender Equity at the university, and we would just talk about the reality of gender politics in our current situation. I minored in women, gender, and sexuality studies, and I took these classes that were really inspiring to me,
Uh-huh.
mostly because I related to them and I wanted to talk more about it and put the dialogue out there. And once again, it just became a pocket passion for me. And then after I graduated, yes, my full time career now is marketing. I work in PR. But talking about issues that matter, like even casual kura, has
Mm-hmm.
become another passion of mine because I feel as though it is a space where we can openly talk about our experiences. You can
Yeah.
talk about your experiences
Mm-hmm.
and really bring our background and insights to the table. Like right now, I'm having the time of my life, and it's just like things like this. And I think it all goes back to, you don't have to worry about not finding that one particular thing that
Yeah.
drives you. Like Richa said, it can be a feeling, it can be like you wanting to learn more, it can be about your curiosity, and that in itself can be your passion. And through that, you are able to create something new. Like you are so passionate about learning and exploring new parts about yourself, and now you have casual kura, you have kaja house, you do
Mm-hmm.
jiu-jitsu on the side, she does improv. Like even things like that can expand you into being more of
Mm-hmm.
who you are and
Yeah.
discovering yourself.
So true.
Yeah.
Um.
So I think it all has to do with, like, honestly, like sitting down and thinking about who you are and what you want from this life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think there is a lot of pressure surrounding it, but I feel like a lot of times you, as someone, you already know the things that you enjoy. And I think that thinking about your priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there a time in your life where you felt stuck and that you didn't have passion?
Mm-hmm. I feel like I want to like touch into high school. Like, like everybody tells you like you gotta really find this passion and like you have to really find a job where you're like really happy and fulfilled. So I think that was like the whole purpose of like through college. Like I really didn't want it to do like a uh something like my parents really wanted me to go into a
Mm-hmm.
medical field and
Oh
like
my
like
god.
like I think I don't know, growing up I had like a clear idea like I didn't want it to go to like I don't know, go to a hospital to work. um I had like more creative and like that was always in my head, like I wanted to do something in creative. um but also like I don't know, growing up Napoli, like you're always feared in like thinking that hey, this artistic world is for broke people and like you're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of money. So like
Mm-hmm.
I think I was like very like in a battlefield of like, do I like really chase like what I really want to do, like like really dive myself into art and like creative field, but also like this practical brain of mine of being like hey, what if you don't make money, how if you
Mm-hmm.
become homeless, what happens, like
Mm-hmm.
you can't support yourself. I think I don't know, going to high school and college I feel like I was like very conflicted into like what should I do. So I chose like a very practical yet very creative like kind of
Mm-hmm.
mid kind of thing. Like being architect is like, yeah, I guess you can be creative, like you design buildings,
Mm-hmm.
but also like you're not gonna be so like you're not like a performer or like you're not a singer who like solely relies on like artistic, like there's like a happy between. So like I
Yeah.
kind of chose the safe way of
Mm.
doing that. But I think growing up, like spending time with myself and like I think learning like how we grew up and how it's not true, like like I think reading self-help books and
Mm-hmm.
like it really gave me, I think made me more brave to like chase my dreams and my passion.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think the time that was kind of ending for me was like, I think I like really pursued architecture and like worked, and the time I was like super lost, I feel like was my time in Georgia, and it was like I feel like that was like an end of a cycle for me, and like I was really lost. I did everything, like I went to a college, I worked, but why am I not happy? Like, and like really trying to find that answer. And I think it like really starts with accepting. Like for a lot of people, like they are not happy, but it's like very hard for them to accept the fact they're not happy. And like
Yeah.
cuz it's I think accepting, like there's a lot of work behind that. Like after accepting, like there's a lot of work you have to do. So people like usually try to avoid and like
Yeah.
live in the cycle.
Yeah.
um but yeah, like I think first step is to always accept, like, hey, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm
Mhm.
doing. And the next step would be like experimenting and take
Yeah.
like yeah, trying new experiences, meeting new people, doing like chasing your curiosity, doing all the things like yeah, really spending time with yourself. What do I want to do? What excites me? What inspires me? And doing all of that and figuring out, like, yeah, what do you want to do, or what your passions are. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like it has brought me to where I am today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. I think
Mhm.
I completely agree. I think being self-aware, once again, is one of the most important things that you could do in your life, and understanding when you're not happy and then realizing that change needs to occur. I mean,
Mhm.
even right now, I'm feeling very lost. Like I think I'm in a space where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm just like floating around, and there have been a lot of, like, once again, there are a lot of things that I am interested in life, that I am passionate towards in life, but there are still things that I think to myself, yeah, like maybe this can change. And
Mhm.
so if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, like, trust me, we
Mhm.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, there are so many people who are in this state of just like not understanding yet. But I do believe that whatever it is, your
Mhm.
passions will find you, and you will find your passions. And I think that everything will work out.
Yeah. Do
So yeah,
you
you're not alone.
Yeah. Do you want to share a time where, oh, I guess you are kind of lost right now, so that is
Yeah,
kind of your
I think there have been like a lot of moments, and I guess that's just what life is.
Mhm.
But I think honestly, right, I'm just in the thick of it. I'm just in the thick of it.
Yeah,
You're
and that is
watching in
okay.
live time a 20-something-year-old just
Uh-huh.
floating around and trying to understand more about what she wants in
Mhm.
her life. That's why,
Yeah.
if you're going through it, I get it, and we're just going to figure it out together. But I think it's really important to know what makes you happy and what interests you, and then
Mhm.
know what doesn't, and
Yeah.
then go from there, and realize that even if you are lost in this moment, there are a lot of parts in your life that still bring you joy. Like, at least for me, like, yes, I'm, trying to figure it out. I'm still in the beginning of my job and my career, and trying to understand what I want to do in this life.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I think that I still have things that interest me, like
Yeah.
doing this podcast,
Mhm.
reading,
Yeah.
writing, things
Yeah,
like that.
chasing those tiny things. And I feel like passion, I feel like we give it a very rigid term and one
Mhm.
term, and we said it could be many things. And but also I feel like it's a changing thing. It's like it's you in another form. It's growing, it's developing, and I feel like it
Mhm.
it does change over time too. Your priorities change in
100%.
life, and your passion change, or your passions will change. Yeah, so rather than approaching it in a way where this passion is this one thing that you have to go find there outside, it's like it's a moving, breathing, living thing
Mhm.
that, yeah, like it develops with you. And I guess you have to keep doing the inner work, keep doing,
Yeah.
yeah, to,
Really have those
yeah,
conversations
yeah,
with yourself, I think,
mm-hmm,
is so important, to
yeah,
really think about what you enjoy, and what the things that you look forward to, and
mm-hmm,
even activities in your day-to-day that make you happy, even if it's going on a walk, stuff
yeah.
like that. I think that
It
says a lot
adds
about
up.
who you
It
are.
adds up.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do a segment, a joint in top three
Top
segment.
three.
Yes. Where we can give you maybe a tip about like if you're lost right now, like how you can discover your passion. So I think the top thing is, yeah, the self-awareness, and it comes from looking within and really doing that work, like really journaling, like really spending present time with yourself. And like really asking yourself the hard questions. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, often it's like so easy to be distracted in this world, having this cell phone,
Fall into this
YouTube. Yeah,
cycle.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, like really spending alone time with
Yeah.
yourself, and journaling.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to this topic, like once again, as we mentioned, a lot of people do fall into the cycle where they're not happy with their job, for
Yeah.
example, but they still wake up every day and they're just like, well, this is my life. Like, I have
Hmm.
to go in at 9 a.m., so gotta keep it moving. But really, really think about it and really understand because stress and unhappiness play a big and detrimental role in your health
Hmm.
and to really understand yourself. And you mentioned journaling, and one thing that I've been doing other than, my regular journaling time is my friend gifted me the 5-minute journal for my
Uh-huh.
birthday. And basically, it outlines morning and night. And every morning, you wake up and you write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make your day great,
Uh-huh.
and 3 things that you're looking forward to.
Wow.
And they also have like this section where it's like, what's one thing you learned today?
Uh-huh.
And that you do that every morning and you do that every night. And I think even that as a first step is something that
Yeah.
helps you realize about your,
Yeah.
like, discover things about yourself, but also stay in the moment.
Yeah, just 5 minutes a day, guys. Yeah, that
Yes.
could be transformative over time.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the second thing would be really like experimenting and
Mm-hmm.
chasing new experiences,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I feel like passion is very balance of inner work and external.
Mm-hmm.
And the inner work is basically the first part, journaling, but the external part where you like, yeah, you look within, but I feel like you also have to experiment new things, try new experiences to find out what's for you and what's not for you. um uh Really, and also hanging out with new people,
Yeah.
going to new circles
100%.
and finding what kind of people you get energy from and what kind of
Yeah.
people that drains you. So like figuring that out,
Yeah.
is, I feel like, a huge
Yeah.
portion.
And I think who you surround yourself with is so important, and you can really be surprised by the people you meet and how they inspire you. And I remember being told once, and this is a common like piece of advice, that you should always surround yourself with people who are better than you
Hmm.
because you learn so much from them and you adapt these routines and even habits that also make you
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
So,
And I think the third big would be to be open, cuz as I said, it's like a changing thing, and it happens, it grows with you. So it's very important to follow the first two steps that we told you, to keep, like, it's like an ongoing thing. It's not like you journal once, you figure out, and you're done for. Like, it's like,
mhm.
as you grow, you're gonna gain new experiences, you're gonna have new priorities in life, like everything is changing around you. So it's so important to always be open and know that it's a process, and keep like doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep looking within and keep
Yeah.
experimenting new things. So I think that is how you, as you're growing, like you're also like aware of your passion and you're
Yeah.
developing. Mhm.
100%. And
Yeah.
as Richa mentioned, passion is a living and breathing thing.
Hmm.
So, like all living and breathing things, change happens.
Hmm.
And, if you can be so sure that your passion is like, I don't know, like baking for like the majority of your life. And then one day you wake up and you're like, actually, I don't really enjoy this
Yeah.
anymore. That's okay. Like that's what life is. That's it's about discovery.
Yeah, so I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Casual Kura. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We would love to know what your passions are currently. So, yeah, drop it on the comments. And it was always nice talking with Nanu and spending time with all of you. So, see you on the next one. Bye.